Hey guys, my name's Nicksivrichpt. I'm a physical therapist, and I want to go over this week's question of the week. This week's question of the week is about running and stretching and whether or not it's good to stretch before you run or to stretch after you run. And what type of stretching should you do? There's a lot of confusion on this topic, and things have evolved over time with stretching. People do get confused about it because it's always been the case that people think, okay, before activity, I need to stretch. And a lot of people will do that. For example, before you go for a run or before you do some sort of workout, people decide they want to stretch. They want to do some type of static stretching, which is, if you're standing and you bend over to touch your toes to stretch out your hamstrings, or pull your heel up to your butt to try and stretch your quadricep out. Those are like static type of stretches. And people have done those for years before activity and before running, before any type of sport-related thing or activity that they do. And a lot of the research that has come out and evidence that has come out has suggested that this really isn't that beneficial to do, as well as it doesn't really prevent injury. A lot of people felt like if they would stretch before an activity that it would prevent them from getting injured, and that's really not the case, at least what the research has shown. The best thing to do actually is more of a dynamic type of stretching. And what that is basically you want to try and get the most blood flow to the muscles as you can without actually doing the activity yet. So what I usually suggest to people, and this is what I do with my youth baseball players that I coach, is that we do a dynamic stretch program prior to warming up their arms or their legs or anything before practice, before games. Basically, you can do an example of dynamic stretching would be, say, high knees. You'll see football players do this as well as baseball players, and they run back and forth and they try and get their knees to their chest, running as quickly as they can and efficiently as they can, back and forth a few times. They'll do butt kicks where you try and take your heel to your butt as quickly as you can, back and forth. Jumping jacks is another type of dynamic warm-up / stretch. What that's doing is bringing blood flow to the area. It's getting those muscles more pliable and ready for activity. Now, after you do that little dynamic stretch, you can also do a little bit of static stretching if you'd like, but normally you can kind of just go right into your activity. A lot of other runners that I know, including myself, what they'll do is they'll say run like 100 meters back and forth jogging, just trying to get themselves loose, do a couple static stretches and then go again, okay? So that's kind of usually what I tell people to do to try and get that blood flow to the area, and then go do your activity. Now, the key is, a lot of people don't do this, is after the activity, you want to stretch, okay? You can do some static stretching after that. You can get on the ground and do some low back stretches. You can also do some hamstring stretches, quadricep stretching. You can have someone stretch you out. But at that particular moment, there's so much blood flow to that area that your muscles are the most pliable they're going to be before they cool down. So you want to get them in that state of where they're most pliable, so that they'll be able to stretch out and keep yourself loose. Now, some will say this decreases your soreness the next day, and the jury's still out on that. But my goal, obviously for today, was just to try and answer that question, because I get that question a lot, and not even just from runners, just from people before any type of activity. They want to know, is it best to stretch before, stretch after, stretch during? And my suggestion is do both, but you want to do some sort of dynamic stretch prior to, and then you can do your static stretching afterwards, but some sort of stretching afterwards just to kind of keep those muscles pliable. So I hope that helped this week, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, commenting on my videos. I try and get back to every single comment people make, especially on YouTube. So please continue to watch, continue to share. You can follow me obviously on Facebook and Instagram, but you can also get on our website at ospta.com. I work in the North Versailles office. We have multiple locations, and you can check us out there. And I'll leave a link in the comment section so you can check us out. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good week.